So, I just got to watch what I think is one of the more fascinating movies of the year. A movie that is very similar to another very, very large movie that came out this year. One that is a little bit more known than this one. But one that I actually think sort of eclipses that one when it comes to its concept, in the way it delivers its story and its themes. I think this might be the better film. I'm talking about A Different Man. A brand new film from writer-director Aaron Schimberg, which stars Sebastian Stan, who plays this guy who has this condition. Now, I'm a little bit lazy, and I'm not going to look up what the condition is, but the long story short, his face is a little bit messed up. And because of that, he's very limited in life, and he's very much down. And the early parts of this movie, as you're really watching this man, he's trying to be an actor, he's doing auditions, he's trying to meet a girl and hang out with this girl and, like, sort of build a relationship, and he's trying to do all these things, but it just always just feels down and sad, and like life just sucks because of this condition that he has that is just out of his control, and you really feel bad for him. You really feel sort of this sense of misery and depression and sadness, which is why when the opportunity comes that maybe there's a treatment out there, maybe there's a way for him to fix this, right? To become normal, essentially, or a different man. Well, Sebastian Stan goes through with it. Edward is this character's name. He goes through with this procedure, and it ends up working, and he ends up becoming Sebastian Stan, a beautiful man. And with that, his life sort of opens up. Now he's getting woman, right? He's able to go and try to get acting roles, but there are problems that soon open up, as is the nature of any story like this, that end up being sort of fascinating and an interesting exploration. Now, first things first, Sebastian Stan gives, in my opinion, the best performance of his career. Maybe the second best, because there's another movie that I saw that I will be reviewing tomorrow that is also really up there. If you want to do like a cool Sebastian Stan double feature, we'll talk about it tomorrow. But he's really, really powerful here, playing both these two separate versions of this one character. Both the version of Edward, who is suffering from this condition and this, the facial thing that he has, and the way he's able to convey the sadness of that, and just even the way he carries himself, his body, the mannerisms. You really feel horrible for him, which is kind of what they want you to feel, for the twist and for the end of the movie to really work the way that it ends up working. I also really love Adam Pearson in this movie. He's somebody who in real life suffers from the condition that Sebastian Stan's character suffers from, and he comes in and plays a major role in this film, and I think everything with his character and the way it sort of contrasts Edward and his thought process about the world and the way he approaches things is amazing. This film is really just kind of the subversion of expectations on what you think this character is going to experience, and this idea of how we handle life and how we approach life, and kind of taking what we have and making the best of it. Because once Edward becomes Sebastian Stan, he goes through this long stretch where things are going well, but then things start to maybe not so go well, and he starts to maybe lose some opportunities that he would have had beforehand, and it's a very interesting turn that I did not expect this movie to take, but it ends up working extremely well, and I think once you get to the finale in the third act, this thing really kind of hits a slam dunk. It really lands on its feet and lands the plane. This is a fantastic movie from start to finish, at least from a story and a thematical sense. The film visually is also really stunning. It's filmed to look like this was a movie that came out in like the 1980s or the 90s, just sort of the way the sound is and the way the camera angles are, being like these wide angles, and the sets and everything about this film. If I were to show this film to somebody and say it came out in the 80s, they might say, yeah, that makes sense. Which is great, and it's sort of weird that nobody's really done this before, at least that I've seen. I've always thought, like, I really love just the vibe, the tone, and the feel of those older 80s, 70s, 90s movies. And we still have, obviously, the technology to make movies that sort of look like that get back to that era. Not everything has to be Ultra 4K and IMAX Plus, right? We can get back to making movies with maybe some older, out-of-date cameras and out-of-date visuals, because they just sort of fit a vibe that people love and feel nostalgic about. And I really got that with this film. I felt nostalgic, not that I was from the 80s or the 70s, because I'm not, but in watching those classical older movies from that time period, and I feel like this movie kind of sort of really took that into account and wanted that to be its feel, and it really added so much. Now, obviously, the movie that this is similar to is The Substance, which is a lot of people's favorite movie of the year. All of those weirdos out there that love weird movies, that love extremely long, boring, weird body horror bullshit, well, that's your favorite movie of the year. For me, I thought The Substance was fine. A lot of people compare these two movies, although I think the themes and what it's trying to say about life, it's very, very different stories when you put it that way. But it's the same in the sense that it's a person going through a transformation, thinking it'll lead to one thing, but it ends up leading to something else that is maybe not as positive. It kind of unravels their life in a way that was unexpected, and in that sense, they are very similar. I prefer this movie, though, because I'm a man. I'm kidding, that's not why. But it is a movie that is very manly, and The Substance is very it's manly too, I guess, kind of. You see Dennis Quaid in that movie chopping his jaw. What a stupid movie. So I really enjoyed A Different Man. I will give this thing a 4.5 out of 5, and I recommend everybody go check it out. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.